Our phones have been ringing off the hook with constituents who are horrified and frightened that their personal information has been handed over to an unelected billionaire with no accountability to the American people. We will not stand by and let Donald Trump and Elon Musk violate your privacy and dismantle the programs you rely on in order to enrich themselves and their billionaire friends.
Constitutional overreach or violation of the law? Take your pick. People are fed up with the chaos that's coming out of this administration, and rightfully so. They're concerned that their private information, both their private financial information and their private health care information, has been breached. I stand with my colleagues in saying that we'll do everything we can to stop this chaos, stop this nonsense, stop this attack.
May or may not have Elon Musk as a constituent down there somewhere around our area, but while never elected to anything, he has elected to invade the privacy of every American by accessing confidential information such as bank numbers, social security numbers, and tax information that is so sensitive that improper disclosure of it can lead to 5 years in federal prison. This information has never before been shared with outsiders. Safeguards on its abusive use by Musk and his merry band of minions has not been there because President Trump first authorized him to basically do whatever he wanted to, and second, he removed the Inspector General at the Treasury Department, as he did at about 16 or 17 other agencies that provided a watchdog to ensure that the proper procedures were followed. We're here to declare that while we recognize those limitations, we will use every tool we can find, every tool available to protect the privacy of the American people and to ensure that Elon Musk and Donald Trump don't disrupt payments on which individuals and American businesses are depending. With that in mind, one of the rarely used tools in this Congress is to file a formal resolution of inquiry. When alarm rose over Musk's access to this information, the Trump administration immediate response was that Musk minions only had access to read whatever they found over there at the Treasury Department, not to change anything. But subsequent developments raised great questions about that. Musk himself has boasted that he has blocked payments to Lutheran Social Services, and as my colleague mentioned, that he was using this information to cut off payments to the Agency for International Development, a very vital part of our national security that is under assault by the Trump administration. We don't know when and on whom the Musk-Trump axe will next fall.
Chaos is all that we have seen out of the Trump administration so far. We're seeing chaos on the trade front with tariffs. President Trump threatens them, and then he gets scared and he retreats. He leaves fragments in place and then delays others on a whim. And chaos is what we're seeing at Treasury with Elon Musk and DOGE as well. Why in the hell were a bunch of kids who are not even legally old enough to rent a car given access to Americans' private information? The law is clear. Congress enacted Section 6103 to protect Americans' private tax information. But not a single one of our Republican colleagues seem to care that that law is being violated. And they don't care that the private tax information of millions of Americans is in the hands of Elon Musk and his teenage cronies. Democrats are demanding answers. President Trump might be fine surrendering complete control to de facto President Musk, but Congress shouldn't be okay with an unelected billionaire calling the shots. Until Republicans are willing to stand up to Presidents Trump and Musk, there's just going to be more chaos. And the American public deserves better.
The American people elected Donald Trump to run our government for 4 years, not to gut it for generations to come. We only have one president at a time, and nobody voted for Elon Musk. Nobody voted for his hackers. The largest illegal data breach in U.S. history took place on this administration's watch, at this administration's direction. And we still don't know who's in charge or what they're up to. The American people trust our civil service to meet their needs. not the billionaire class. Instead, one man, Elon Musk, can now decide if hardworking Americans receive their tax refunds, when they receive their tax refunds, even who among us will receive one. Nobody in this country agreed to give an unelected oligarch their home address, social security number, bank routing information or account number, individual child support obligations, medical information, and more. He just took it illegally, and Trump let him do it. This is not functional government. This is not what you voted for. It's government dismemberment. It's chaos. We are here to meet the actual needs of our constituents and to hold President Trump, his puppet master Musk, and their DOGE bros accountable for their illegal violations of our laws and the United States Constitution.
So why do we go through these hearings to confirm cabinet officials, check all their backgrounds to make sure that they're going to do their jobs the right way? Why do we go through background checks? Why do people get security clearance? Why isn't Elon Musk a full-time employee of the U.S. government? What about the guys that are working for him? Have they gone through any sort of process like that whatsoever? Privacy is one of the most important principles in our country. Who really knows what information they have and what they're doing with it? We could ask the Inspector General. Oh no, the Inspector General was fired. Who's watching what they're doing with this enormous vault of your private information? Not just the people out there, even the people in this room. They're looking at your information. And what are they doing with it? I know that the Republicans agree with us. In fact, the chairman of our committee, I'm sure, Jason Smith, agrees with us. How do I know that? In February 15th of 2024, he said, taxpayer information is confidential and any leaders should be prosecuted to the, any leakers should be prosecuted to the full extent of the law. He also said in March, given this committee's essential role, Ways and Means Committee, in originating and crafting legislation on tax policy, legislative text is absolutely necessary to allow us to evaluate it and consider the true impact of these dangerous policy proposals will have on our constituents. This is words right from Chairman Smith. He should be saying the same thing right this minute. The Treasury Inspector General for Tax Administration, the IRS and Treasury, must explain to the American people what happened and what is being done to make sure that it's never done again with their private information. He said at a later date, it's up to us, members of the Chief Tax Rating Committee, that's us, in Congress, to protect the public trust and to secure private taxpayer administration.
When people are struggling with skyrocketing rents, with increases in grocery prices, when child care is out of control when it comes to its cost, what are Donald Trump and the Republicans doing? They gave Elon Musk, an unelected billionaire, and his 22-year-old tech bros access to Americans' most sensitive and personal information. They have complete control over your accounts. That means that they can go in whenever they want and swipe it. And we need to know why Trump and Secretary Bessent gave Elon Musk, who has profited from federal government contracts and who should be nowhere near this information, access to the equivalent of domestic nuclear codes. This is real serious. And we're not going to stop until we find out what, who, and when they got access to this information.
I'm concerned why Elon Musk, a special government employee, whatever the hell that means, that's a new term that's come up, who has nothing, was never elected to anything, is an outside billionaire consultant, and DOGE, a fake department, have access to the most sensitive federal payment systems and confidential tax information of millions of Americans. Now, they have access to much more extensive than they've even disclosed to the public. We're learning that day by day by reporters like you all who are finding this information out and sharing it with the American public as to how much they are doing. Whether they are not only just reading this information, they're putting it in AI models, we are finding out. They want to understand where the money is flowing. Why do they want to understand where the money is flowing? A lot of individuals up here have brought up that Elon Musk is a billionaire. We do not hate all billionaires. But let's be clear. Much of Elon Musk's resources and his wealth is based on government contracts. $15 billion that we know of is from one company that he owns. Our new president, President Trump, has said that Elon Musk is going to self-report if he has a conflict of interest. What kind of nonsense is that? And it's no mistake and no chaotic, discombobulated kind of happenstance that one of the first things that our president did was fire the inspectors general. The concern that the chairman expressed previously was for President Trump, for individuals that they're friends with. They are not concerned with the millions of Americans, taxpayers' information. That should be clear to the American public, that most of the Republicans are not concerned with you.
They've erected a giant yield right-of-way sign on this Congress, and whatever President Trump wants, they're here to carry out his orders. Whatever Elon Musk tells President Trump should be implemented here, we can count on them to do it. That's why we're filing our petition of inquiry and why we think it's so important to push back.
And despite all these different things, nothing's going to happen overnight. And who knows what codes have been changed? Who knows what things have been implanted in different programs? Who knows what different keystrokes have been done that we may never find out about?
Privacy is next to liberty. And this information, we have no idea where it's going. And I would think that anybody who had a prescription medication abridged, they'd be furious about this because we don't know who has the information and what they intend to do with it. But we intend to stay with it. Thank you.